Thursday morning, good morning. All right, so comfortable seat if it's sitting cross-legged, have your heels underneath your knees as opposed to just crossing at the ankles. I have a lot of my little toys around, so spread them around. Place your hands on top of your thighs, close your eyes, and just begin to breathe, right? Or recognize the breath. And recognize it as it moves from the base of your spine to the top of your head and spreads across the sides of your body around the rib cage, through the collarbones, broadening, and reaching the energy all the way from the sitting bones through the spinal column, all the way to the top of the head and outside, supporting you in, enveloping in this white, beautiful light. So start to find your slow breath, your sweet breath. And slow it down. And I like to think of the breath as the distraction from the distractions. So once your mind starts to go back to what's outside of your door or your space, bring it back to the breath. If your hands are not on top of your thighs now, just place them on top or slightly in front of your knees and lift your chest up, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest, roll backwards and pull your belly in like a cat pose. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, pull yourself up and hinge slightly forward. It's early, so start slow, start in small spaces, rounding it back into cat and cows, chest forward. And then as your body starts to warm up perhaps, start to move in some circular movements in one direction and then the other. Good morning, whoever's coming on. Oh, Renee, hi. And just turn yourself to mute, and if you want your picture on, I know you don't. And come back to center, and we're going to reverse it. So we're sitting cross-legged and just doing some cat-cows and some spinal movements. And then let's make our way back to the center, lift your chest up. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, release the arms and take them behind you, lean back, and shake out your legs, and we're going to switch the cross of the legs. So come back. It will be your less comfortable position. It'll be your less habitual side position. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. I think I might have gone back because they're both becoming habitual to me. Exhale, take your right hand down, lift up and over. Let's do that a couple times, side to side. So take your left arm down, right arm over. Keep yourself grounded, your hips grounded onto the earth. Go back and forth a few times. Now, take it over to your right side for a moment. Take your left arm and sweep it now in front of you. Take the right arm to follow it, and then come back up. So again, back into some semicircle movements, just getting the spine warmed up in all of our directions. And then we'll take one more. If you're not on the left side, take your left side. And then rise up to sitting up on your sitting bones. Reach the arms up. Palms face each other, shoulders down. It's about, it's as if you were holding a yoga block between your two hands. Inhale. Exhale, left hand outside right thigh. Right arm behind you, more towards the left side of your body. Lengthen your spine. Inhale. Exhale, twist a little bit more to your right side. Look all the way over your right shoulder. Drop your shoulders down. Inhale, stretch your right arm up and over. Cross the arms. Go back to the cat pose, pulling your belly into your spine. Inhale, lift up and keep your right arm down. Take your left arm behind you towards the right side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, stretch your left arm up, lean over to the right side. Exhale, hands on your knees, lift your chest. Inhale, and once again, round into your cat position. Inhale, come back to center, stretch your arms all the way up. Lean back, send the legs up, and kick them out, send your blocks out too. Take yourself over to either side, come up to your hands and knees or blocks underneath your hands. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, hips and shoulders width apart. So the blocks just create space in our bodies from the floor up, and if you don't have them, then you can use, sometimes some blankets help, but they're not as stable. But I do recommend having at least one block for your practice. Top of the foot, shin down. Take the belly down one more time for these cat-cow poses. Round your spine, pull the belly up and in. And then hold this rounded position for another breath. Inhale, release it to a neutral spine. Take your right arm in the air and look up at it. Exhale, just a swift, bring the arm underneath you. Reach out to the left side, but come on back up with the inhale, lift up. Exhale, take the arm underneath you, look towards your left side. My hand is on a block, but you can have your hand on the floor totally. Right arm underneath you, and then walk the arm and stay here for a few breaths. Walk your left arm forward on the floor of the block, doesn't matter. Top of the foot, shin down. Resting the back of your head towards the floor, so you might not get your shoulder down. And then take the left arm and bind it behind your back. Just grab a hold of your inner thigh or your shirt, just somewhere behind your back. And open up your torso. Inhale, stretch the arm back up in the air. Reach it forward, left hand out in front of you. Inhale, come back up. Right hand comes up in the sky. Exhale, two hands on the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale to a neutral position. Take your left arm up in the air. Take a look at it. Exhale, bring it underneath your right arm, all the way up to the right side. And do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, twist underneath. Inhale, lift the arm up. This time we're going to stay. As we take the left arm underneath, walk the right arm out in front of you, and bring the back of your head towards the floor. So again, the shoulder may or may not touch, and don't ever force it. It's not that important, right? But the rotation in the torso is what we're looking for. You can stay there, bring your right arm behind your back, and grab a hold of the back of the thigh, the shirt, your back. Even if it's just on your hip, it's fine. Take another breath. Empty the breath and stretch your right arm back out in front of you. Inhale, come back in, bring it underneath your shoulder. Take the left arm up. Exhale, hands on the floor. Open your knees as wide as your mat. Touch your toes together and push your hips back to your heels. And once again, stretch your arms all the way out in front of you. Keeping a nice long spine from the top of the head to the tailbone. Breathe down the sides of your body. Breathe from the top and the bottom of your body. So north, south, east, and west is directions my husband would say. Good. Inhale, come onto your hands and knees. Keep your hands a little bit outstretched. Knees underneath you. Tuck your toes underneath and lift your hips up into downward facing dog. First one. Walk your dog, right side, left side. So always, it's the first time we do something. Sometimes we modify it a lot. Sometimes we do that throughout the entire practice. So listen to your body and just see where you need to be. And when you're ready to settle in for a few breaths, find a few moments of peace and stillness in your downward facing dog. Chest towards your thighs, your head hangs down. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath. Come up onto your tippy toes and engage your quadricep muscles, the front muscles of the thighs, by pulling the knees up. Lift up your pelvic floor muscles, your bathroom muscles, and then shift into plank with all that action in your body. Right? So your shoulders pull back and down, press the earth away, top of the head to the tailbone and to the heels, nice and long. Inhale, lower your knees. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. Stretch your right foot behind you, toes on the floor. Rock forward and back a couple times. And now press the left top of the foot and shin down for some stability here. As you lift the right leg off the floor, in line with your spine, so not higher, not lower. Well, lower if you need to. Pointed toes, reach out of your ribs and your hips. Exhale, round and curl, bring the right knee to your chest. Look forward, step it between your two hands. Doesn't matter, again, if you're on the block or on the floor, your hands are just on the sides of your feet. If you're on the block, you have 3 heights to it, so choose one that's appropriate for you. Hinge your left hip forward, so send your left hip back or your knee back far enough that you're not sitting directly on top of it. Broaden the collarbone, shoulders back and down, top of the foot and shin of the back leg are down. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your left hand on the floor of the block, right hand to your hip, turn to the right side. And drop your left hip down a little bit lower. Keep some space between your belly and your right thigh. And then sweep your right arm back up and over your head. Look up towards the right hand. Put on the left shoulder blade. So make sure you're not lifting your ear and shoulder together. Rather, pull the shoulder back down towards your tailbone. Another breath. Inhale, release the hand. Straighten the front leg, toes up or down. You choose. Modify anything you need, amplify anything you want. Only want if it's a want that makes sense in your body, right? Not an ego want. Want means my body needs to go a little deeper today. Inhale, rebend the knee, tuck the back toes underneath you. Lift the back knee off the floor. Right knee is over the ankle, hips are squared and hugging in, left hand stays on the floor. Right arm comes back to the hip first, and then we take it up again. Hug your hip in, nice and long, fingertip to toes. Breathe. Everything is strong, so there's not one part of our body that's overworking. Take another breath, inhale. And exhale, hand down. Is that Cindy? And straighten your front leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. So we're in a nice long line. Oh, E.T., hi. Good. One more breath in the straight front leg. Good. Soften your knees, plant your palms, and step into downward dog. Good morning, E.T. We're in a downward dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale on your toes, shift to that high plank. One more time, tailbone and head in the same line. Push and resist the earth away. Let's make it nice and simple. Keep the right knee on the floor now and take the left toes behind you. Rock back and forth a couple times. Press the top of the right foot and shin down for some stability. Inhale, lift your left leg off the floor, toes point down. Find length. Try not to have that middle part of your body scooped out, right? Suck the belly up and in, ribs meet towards the hips. Exhale, bring the knee to your chest, rounded curl. And then step your left foot through, shimmy your back foot back so your knee is behind your hip, and drop your hip down towards the floor. Good. So left foot forward, right knee back. Inhale, just keep working it, releasing a little bit more of the right hip down towards the floor. Right hand holds onto the floor block, left hand to your hip. Rotate to the left side, finding space between your thigh and your belly. And then take the left arm up and twist. Spread your fingers. So again, not one part overworking the other parts. Everything is working in equanimity. And we find more space. Take a breath. Empty the breath, release your left hand. Straighten your left leg, hands on the blocks. Blocks can move back further or higher. Hands on the floor, same thing. You can have them where you need the most stability. The toes of the left leg can be up or down, you choose. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. And exhale. Softly bend your front knee once again. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Lift the knee up and keep the hips low and square. Right hand stays. Left hand moves to the hip. Turn to the left side and stretch the arm up over your shoulders. So keep hugging the hips towards the midline. Keep dropping the hips lower so that you're strong and powerful. Your left thigh is parallel, but everything again is equally as strong. Inhale, lower the hand. As you exhale, begin to straighten your front leg. So a little bit wider stance. If you feel more comfortable shortening the stance, shorten the stance. Pull the left hip back and right hip forward. Lengthen your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. Rebend your front knee. Hands to the floor. And step your left hip back and hips up in the air. Downward facing dog. Bend one knee, then the other. Find your stillness in downward dog. And slowly begin to walk your hands back to your feet, back of the mat. Now I'm going to modify with a bent knee, but you can stay in a straighter leg. Hands on the floor, blocks, shins, or the top thighs. So I'm going to let you choose what's the right way for your body, as I will choose the right way for my body today. Place your hands on your shins, lift halfway up with your spine. Look forward, exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, press down to rise all the way up. Stretch the arms over your head. And take the prayer to your heart, bring your feet together. Now, bringing your feet together may make you less stable, so feel free to open them a little bit wider. Release your hands by your side. Take your right foot, lift up onto the toes, and hug your left hip in as you open your right hip out to the side, just a little bit. Good. And then ground firmly into your left leg as you lift your right leg up off the floor. So the knee is open, the hip is open, hug the left hip in. Inhale, return the foot to the floor. Shake out the legs if you'd like to and come back into stillness. Open up, lift up onto your left toes. Open up your left hip. Hug your right hip into the side. Now you can stay here on the floor, or if you feel like you're grounded, lift your left leg up. Not so easy sometimes, huh? And then release it back to the floor. Standing in mountain pose at the back of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring prayer to the heart and walk forward to the top of your mat. Feet are where they're comfortably spaced for you. Release the arms by your side. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bend your knees. Send your hands to the floor blocks, shins or thighs, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. So I'm modifying. Don't watch me, just listen for the cues. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands to the floor and step to a high plank position. Shoulders over wrists, belly is lifted. Inhale, shift a little forward. Bring your knees to the floor and lay your belly all the way to the floor. Hands are by your ribs. Inhale, lift your chest. Elbows squeeze in by your side. Push your pubic bone down, top of the foot, shin down. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift up. Push back a little higher and push back to your toes tucking under you in downward facing dog. So you have the option to be on your belly, on your knees, to do your back bends bigger, smaller, or skip them all together and just meet in downward dog. Inhale on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, and take yourself any which way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, halfway lift, and then rise all the way up, pressing your feet firmly into the ground. Hands to your heart center, exhale. Release your arms, inhale. Surya Namaskara A, which we only did 108 last night, so let's just take a few more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the floor, block, step, step, high plank, pause. Inhale, shift forward. Bend your elbows, you can have your knees down. Come back to either a push-up, an upward dog, a low cobra, or right into your downward facing dog, where we'll all meet. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat and float your right leg in the air. This time, open up the hip. Just like we did standing a few moments ago, open up the knee and let the foot just kind of hang back there as you hug the left leg in. Inhale, bring your right knee to the center. Shift forward, round and curl. We also did this earlier on our knees, and step your right foot forward in between your two hands. Left hand stays, right arm sweeps up and open. Inhale. Exhale, right hand down, straighten your front leg. Turn your back foot on its side. Take your right hand on your right thigh, but don't put a lot of weight into the arm. Inhale, stretch your left arm up and open. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Now, just to see if you have a lot of weight bearing on your thigh with your arm, pick your arm up, and if your body doesn't collapse, then you know that you're not putting a lot of weight there, right? But if your body collapses because you were holding it up with your right arm, then back off a little bit and try to find some of the energy in your core and in your legs. Although sometimes I consider up to here part of your core. Inhale, we're gonna rise up and find right arm forward, left arm back, right knee over the ankle in line with your hip, back toes turn in, reach in two directions, warrior two. Inhale, sink a little bit lower, being mindful that the right knee doesn't go forward of the ankle, but is stacked on top or maybe slightly behind for some. Reach two arms in two directions, one more breath. Release the left arm down, take the right arm up, stretch up and out of your waistline. Take your left arm and bind it behind our back like we did earlier. Lift out of your hips. Inhale, come back to the right arm out in front of you. Straighten your front leg and place your right hand down on the shin, foot, floor, block. Triangle pose, left arm comes up. So spinning your torso to the left, shoulders open. So your hand goes anywhere but your knee. I like to use a block on its highest height behind my calf. Stack your shoulders. Lift your right side waistline up and in. One more breath. Good. Exhale, release your hand to the floor. Bend your front knee. Step back to a downward facing dog. So both feet back, hips up in the air. Feet are together a little bit closer. Inhale, bring your left leg in the air. Open your left hip and bend the knee and just open it like we just did a moment ago, right? We did a little bit into our standing position. Exhale, bring your left knee to your chest, come forward in plank. Look between your hands and step your left foot through. Help it out if you need to. You could also drop your knee to the floor. Right hand on the floor, left arm opens up for the twist. So how do you love? Breathe in, breathe out. Good, exhale, left hand down. Turn your right foot on its side. Actually, no, straighten the front leg. We'll go that route. Inhale. Exhale. Now begin to turn your right foot on its side. Rebend your left knee. Left hand on your thigh. Right hand starts at the hip. Then open up right arm up over your shoulder. And then do that little test. If you move your arm, does your torso fall with it? Left thigh parallel to the floor. Your back foot is firmly planted. So your big toe and little toe are firmly planted into the earth. As you put some weight towards the edge of your pinky foot, so your pinky toes, so that your inner arch lifts up. Inhale, rise up. Left knee is bent. Left arm forward, right arm back. Left thigh is parallel to the floor as you can, but not forgetting the back leg. Remember, everything is working, equally as challenging, equally as hard. You might feel it more in one place, but we work the body as a total unit. Inhale. And exhale, sink a little bit deeper if you can into the hips. Good, take it a little bit deeper, inhale. Exhale, inhale, reverse the warrior, left arm up, right arm down, lift out of your waistline. Take your right hand behind your back. Bind it if you can reach the inner left thigh, just keep a little space between your hip and thigh. And then inhale, come up, still bent knee until you get out to here with your left arm forward, straighten the left leg, and then left hand comes down somewhere, right arm comes up. Turn your torso, so it's as if you're backward against a wall and you are leaning completely both sides of your body against the wall. Lift the left side of your torso up and in and keep spiraling your heart open. One more big breath. Look down at the floor as you spin yourself back around. Face the front of your mat, hands on the floor blocks. Step back to a downward facing dog, hips up in the air. From here you choose, do you want to take a little flow through your push-ups, so come forward to plank if you'd like. Bend your elbows, go halfway down, come into your back bend or push-up or right back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Good, feet are together back in the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg up and open up your right hip. This time let's bring the right knee to the right tricep, keep the hip open. Just like we did standing a little bit ago. Exhale, right knee to center. Shift a little more forward, step your right foot through. Inhale, stretch your right arm up in the air, twist. Exhale, right hand down, straighten your right leg, turn your back foot on its side. Good. Bend your right knee, right hand on your thigh. Left arm comes up. Look down at your right toes, firm your back foot. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, settle. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Bind your arm. Exhale, come forward with your right arm, torso. Straighten your right leg and hinge forward for triangle pose. Left arm comes up. Inhale, bring your left arm back behind you, right arm up. We lift up and back for reverse triangle. I'm sorry, just a reverse of the triangle, but not reverse triangle. We'll get there in a second. Inhale, rebend to warrior two. Exhale. Good. One more breath and sink a little bit lower. Exhale. Inhale. Release your hands back to the floor. Spin your back foot forward. Step your left foot a little bit closer. Take your hands on the floor or blocks any height. Pull the right hip back and the left hip forward so your hips are level. If you had a block on your back, it would stay on your back rather than falling off. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up to stand. So when you get up to standing, you might have to adjust your footing, right? A little bit, perhaps. Square your hips, shoulders. Good. Keep your right hand on your hip. Inhale, stretch your left arm up in the air. Good. Square off the shoulders and the hips right now. Lift the knees up for protection. Exhale, hinge halfway down. Halfway down. I'm going to be a little bit higher than halfway. But you've got length now in your torso with that first fold. Then rotate your torso. And then take your left hand, inside or outside on the floor, shin or the block. So turning your shoulders to stack. Squaring the hips and keeping them squared. Right arm comes up. Revolve the twist. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Exhale, release your hands. Good. Look forward. Step your feet together, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Put your weight into your left leg. Lift your right heel. Open up the hip. Lift the right knee. And then place it above or below the knee for tree pose. Hug your left hip to the center. Inhale. Stand up nice and tall. Hug both sides of your body into the center. Beautiful. Your foot can be above or below your knee. Oh, beautiful trees. One more breath. And just release the tree, release your arms. Stand in mountain pose. And just settle in for a moment. Inhale, open your eyes, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins, blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step to high plank, push up or go right into your downward facing dog. Upward dog is an option, you can skip it as well and do child's pose or cobra. Inhale, float your left leg up, open your left hip to the side. Keep the knee bent as you shift forward to plank, left knee to the outside of the left shoulder tricep. And then bring the knee to the center, look forward, step the left foot through. Right hand stays, left arm opens up for the twist. Inhale. Exhale, release your left hand, straighten your left leg, fold over. Inhale, turn your back foot on its side, rebend your left knee, left arm on your thigh, right arm comes up, side angle variation, look down. Inhale, come back up, warrior two, exhale. Inhale, reverse your warrior, bind your right arm behind you. Exhale, hinge forward with your left arm torso, straighten your left leg. Reach out and down, anywhere but your knee. Right arm comes up, triangle pose. Lift out of your waistline. Stack your shoulders, everything strong. Breathe in. Breathe out, look down. Inhale, come up to standing, reverse. Right arm down, left arm up. Exhale, return to warrior two. Good. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor blocks. Spin your back foot forward. Step your back foot in a little bit closer. You determine the length. Place your hands on the floor blocks, lengthen your spine. And then bring your hands to your hips as you press firmly through your feet to rise up. Square your shoulders, square your hips. Don't be on a tightrope. So have your feet a little bit wider than maybe even you think they should be. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Good. Left hand is going to stay on your hip. Lengthen your spine out of your right side. Inhale, hinge forward, stop halfway. Maybe shake my hand. Rotate the torso and bring the hand on the inside, outside foot, shin, or block. So start off slowly, just keep the levelness of the hips and the torso long, left arm, left shoulder up or right, and then left arm perhaps comes up. Feel the hugging of the hips towards the midline. So really find some strength and energy. One more breath, find a little more space. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Inhale, step your feet together, top of the mat. Hands to your hips, rise up to stand. Exhale, release your hands, nice. Keep your weight in your right leg, take your left knee and open it out to the side. That could be it, right? Maybe you want to hold on to the wall or something else. Take your left leg above or below, the right knee. I am a little bit of a swaying tree today. Hug your right hip into the center and press it like you have suction on the inside of your foot and thigh. Anything with the arms. One more breath. Release the foot, release the hands, top of the mat. Good. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins, blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step or jump back to high plank. Take a moment here to decide what's appropriate for you today. In a push-up or no push-up. We did a lot of push-ups yesterday too, guys. Hips up in the air. Breathe. Good. Inhale, float your right leg high in the sky, open up the hip. Exhale, step your right foot all the way through. Left arm down, right arm up, twist. Exhale, right hand down, straighten both legs. Turn your left foot on its side. Rebend your right knee, right arm comes on top. Left arm up. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Actually, we go through warrior two. We reverse the warrior bind. Inhale, reach forward, straighten your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, reverse the arms, triangle. Legs stay the same. Exhale, come back to the center. Through warrior two, hands to the floor, straighten your front leg, step in a little bit closer. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to stay from here. Turn to the right side. Right arm comes up. Hips are squared. Good, now bring your left hand in front of you on the floor block. Begin to shift your weight into your right leg. Lift the left toes up off the floor. Leveling out, shoulders, hips. I will promise you this, guys, if you have your hand on a block, this pose becomes much more accessible to most of us. Yeah, I see Michelle on a block. I can't tell if everybody else is on a block, but I promise you, it is the way to go. One more breath. Now fold your hands to the floor and lift your leg in the air for any variation of standing split. So you can have two hands on blocks. You can have your hands on your shins or your thighs or your calves, or some of you might even choose to take handstand hops, kicking your feet up in the air. Wherever you are, stay for another breath. If you're floating, come on back down, bring your feet together. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer, lift your right leg, open it up, and find your tree pose. One more time. Hug your left hip into the midline, breathe. All right, now just listen for the transition here. Bend your left knee a little bit more. Release your right foot from your left leg. Kick it back behind you. And then take the left hand back to the floor or the block. Open up to the right side, right arm up over your shoulders. Half moon balance. We already revolved the half moon. Now we are in our full half moon. Lengthen out of your right hip. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful, beautiful. One more breath, everybody. Look down, right hand down, square your hips, back to your standing split. Rebend your left knee and step into a low lunge. And step back to a three-legged downward dog. Open your left hip. Exhale, step your left foot through. Right hand stays, left arm opens, twist. Exhale, left hand down, straighten your left leg. Turn your back foot on its side, bend your left knee, left hand on your thigh, right arm up and open. Beautiful. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Bind your arm behind you, inhale. Exhale, bring your left hand and torso forward. Release the left hand down, right arm up. Ooh, triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. Inhale, reverse the arms, come up to standing. Good. Exhale through warrior two. Take your hands to the floor. Spin your hips forward. Step your back foot in a little bit closer. Inhale, lengthen your spine right from here. Left hand on your hip. Rotate to the left side. Left arm comes up. Twist open. Keeping the same positioning, move your right hand a little bit more forward. Shift your weight to your right hand, left leg. Lift the right leg off the floor and rotate your torso to the left side. Very challenging pose, particularly if your hips are tight and without something to balance your bottom hand on, it's very challenging. Right? So if you have a water bottle, it works. Take another breath. Exhale, release your left hand, fold over, take handstand hops. If you're taking that standing split, hands on the floor blocks. Doesn't matter how high the right leg goes, mine doesn't go very high, but think about the stability in the left leg. Exhale, bring your feet together on the floor. Inhale, hands to hips, rise up. Release your hands by your side. Good. Open your left hip to the left side and bring the foot up above or below the knee. Hands in prayer. Good. So we're just going to stay here for a moment as we begin to release the left leg. Open it out to the side. Left hand comes to the hip or in the air. Right hand comes to the floor or a block. Outside or in front of your right foot. Half moon balance. Hug your right hip into the center. Left leg is in line with your hip. So you don't need to be, oops, very high. A lot of our moons just had a little balance thing. And you know, the moon is all about balance, right? It's balancing our days and our nights, our tides, women's bodies. Take another breath. Exhale, release your left hand, square your hips again, bend the right knee, and step back into a low lunge. Right leg in the air, three-legged downward dog. Open up your hip. And then place both feet on the floor, downward facing dog. Shift forward again, choose your way into your push-up position or not. Upward dog is your back bend, and downward dog is your hips in the air. Inhale, release your knees to the floor. Sit on your heels with your arms outstretched, child's pose. So outstretch your arms and think about energizing the muscles under the arms and wrapping around the shoulders. Inhale, rise up on your fingertips, walk over to your right side. Left hand on top of right, and just allow your left hip to sink a little bit deeper into the earth or to the heel. Inhale, lift up and walk over to the other side. Take your time getting there. I just figured out how to use my watch yesterday. Something changed and I figured it out. Come back to center. It's always a learning experience here. And you might be wondering why I'm talking about my watch. Inhale, come up to your hands and knees, because I just took a look at it. Exhale, stay in your tabletop position. If your hands are on the blocks now, move them off to the side. Come to your forearms, elbows under shoulders. Clasp your hands or open your arms apart. Tuck your toes underneath you and send yourself back to a plank position on your forearms. Good. Shoulders over elbows, belly is lifted. Keep your right hand down. You can turn it parallel to the edge of the mat and then spin onto your right side. Dropping the right knee to the floor, of course, is an option here. Lift your right hip up and take your left arm up over your head. Anything with the top leg is available. Exhale, bring your left arm down, square your shoulders, hips, and let's take it to side B. Left arm down, right arm up, hips up. So think about the bottom side of your body not collapsing, lifting up towards the top side of your body. Inhale, release your hands to the floor, spin it back to center, open your arms, shift forward, lower your hips, find yourself in Sphinx pose. You can go as deep as you'd like in Sphinx or just stay in a little bit of the back bend. Your belly's off the floor, your pelvic floor is lifted, you're right above the ribs or right above the pubic bone below the ribs, or the ASIS, the front hip bones. One more breath as you push back into your child's pose once again. This time, cross your ankles in your child's pose. And sit behind your child's pose into a seated, cross-legged position. You're probably all the way at the back of your mat, and that's okay for now. Lift your spine up, take your arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, take the prayer to your heart, breathe in. Release your hands and take your right leg inside of your left hip and take your left leg out to the side. If it feels like you want to stay on the mat, turn yourself the long way on your mat. Left leg is out to the side, left arm comes down on the inside as the right arm lifts up and over to the side. Use your left arm as traction against your inner thigh. Open up, breathe. Inhale, lift up, right arm down. Spin your left hip up and open, little bend. Exhale, come down, turn to your left leg again. Take your right arm up and reach outside of the leg, whether it's to the foot or the outer thigh or the shin. Never mind. Left arm comes again, binds behind you. Inhale for length, exhale depth. Right ear towards the left knee. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, push against whatever you're holding on to. Lift up, release as you exhale, turn to the front, release your bind. Separate your legs into a straddle. It doesn't have to be huge. And if you prefer to be on your mat, turn yourself to the side. Bring one hand behind and one hand forward as you lift up a little bit higher. Just looking for the space here, right? Not for the depth here. Doesn't matter. In fact, let's keep both hands behind our back on this one. Lift your chest up. Turn your toes up towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, bring your left leg to the inside of your right leg. Take your right arm inside your right thigh. You can hold on to the toes if you have that space. Left arm up and over, and some of you hold on with both arms. Inhale. And exhale. Side bending, so lift out of your waistline, kind of like we did in earlier positions, in that side angle. Inhale, come back, left arm down, right arm, right hip up, both hips up. Exhale, bring your hips to the floor, turn to face your right leg. Inhale, take your left arm up. Exhale, take your right hand to the outside of the foot, maybe the shin thigh. Inhale, lengthen, twist over to the left side, right arm binds behind you. So you look for the length and then you find the rotational space. Inhale, lengthen. Release on the exhale, turn forward and take both legs out to a straddle again. One hand in front, one hand behind, lift your hips. Turn your toes up, walk your hands forward this time. Stop where you first feel some stretch. Where you feel something. Not pain. If you feel pain, way back off. Bend your knees if you have to. Use straps, use blankets, towels. Walk forward again. Keep walking forward, but keep your spine upright. So think about this more as a groin stretch rather than getting your chest towards your thighs or the floor. Inhale and exhale. Take another breath. Keeping the spine upright, we walk back again. Good. Soften your knees, bring your legs together. Shake out your legs and let's walk a little Jacqueline-asana to the front of the mat. Not all the way to the front, but far enough so that when you come down, your head is supported on the floor. Have a block nearby if you'd like. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Roll backwards and point your toes. And then release your arms in front of you and start to peel your spine one vertebrae at a time onto the floor. As you make your way down to the floor, draw your knees up to your chest. Place your feet on the floor, hold on to the shins, ankles. Here's where, if you'd like to use a block, you can support yourself with a block underneath your back for a supported bridge. Or lift your hips up, arms underneath you, and find your bridge position. Finding some energy in the bottom side of your body or the back side of your body. Inhale and exhale. If your hands are connected, release them first, upper, mid, lower back on the floor. If you're on a block, stay there, it's fine. Second set. Inhale, lift your hips, either on a block, or some of you will take your hands by your shoulders, lift up into your full bridge wheel. I am not doing that today, so think about pressing into, good Maria, pressing into your hands, lifting your hips up. Your feet and your hands are carrying the weight. Push up and breathe for 3, for 2, 1, top of the head, upper, mid, lower back to the floor. Draw your knees back up to your chest. Open your arms to a T, move your hips to the right, and allow the knees to fall over to the left side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, move your hips left, knees fall to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Hug your knees all the way to your chest, lift your head and shoulders up, round and curl. And as you exhale, head down, left leg comes out, right leg comes out. Arms come down by your side. Palms face open. Scan your body for any points of tension that might remain. And go into the spaces deep, deep, deep. Empty out and let go. Surrender to your mat. Shavasana. For those of you who have the opportunity to stay longer in your Shavasana, turn off the sound and just stay on your mat for as long as you like or can. And for those of you needing to make your way back, start to breathe a little bit deeper. Make this next breath really longer, deeper, as you begin to make small movements through your fingers and toes. Draw your knees up to your chest. Bring yourself onto either side. And bring yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat. Take your hands together at your heart center. Acknowledge yourself for showing up and doing the work. And then bow to each other. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace. Peace, peace to all. Namaste, Sat Nam, go in peace. And for my friends at home, stay fit, stay healthy, get vaxxed.